I attended Dr. Jordan Peterson's Sold Out event. Dr. Peterson is a Canadian clinical psychologist who is known for his best-selling self-help books, his traditional conservative politics, and his views on masculinity and gender roles. I wanted to investigate the blurred lines between Dr. Peterson's role as a clinician who wants to help people and his role as a politically motivated public figure. Why are you here to see Jordan Peterson?
I was inspired by a few things that I saw from him online. There's a lot of shame around masculinity and being a man, and he's been able to empower a lot of men to believe in themselves and to take ownership of their life.
I suppose a sense of companionship with the community. My values, I felt alienated.
To have some pretty strong conservative values. Politics is so centralised now, so it's good that there's a bit of extremism.
And you mentioned conservative values and extremism. Do you feel as though that...
Extremism, I know extremism's a bit of a soundbite. We're labelled extremists, and I don't really care about that. I've got broad shoulders, so I can take it. It's just good to be amongst other people that can take it also.
Tell me, why are you here to see Jordan Peterson?
I don't want to air out some personal stuff, but I wasn't in a very good place, to be honest. And he was the one that really taught how to be a strong person.
What does it mean for you to be a strong person?
Mentally strong would be not letting people control your emotions. So, for example, if you tell someone, I hate it when you put the donuts on top of the whatever, and then they do it, then you get up, you just be calm, relaxed, stoic.
What Jordan Peterson is able to do is he's able to identify the trends within Western society and propose a solution on how to move forward. We have more power and potential than we've ever had. We've evolved at an exponential rate, and we have no idea what to do with that. And, well, neither does Jordan Peterson, but that's not the point. The point is to facilitate that discussion.
Has he helped your life? Has he improved your life?
Well, I think within the fact of being a real man, and it makes me think about what a man should be.
What should a man be?
Respectful and protecting his family and looking after his family, and I never felt that really before.
A lot of people see masculinity as a very toxic thing, but for me, I see it as a beautiful thing, and I think he's really shown me that in an empowering way, to still be balanced and to still be strong. And I think he has a lot of compassion for men when it's really hard being a man, a lot of the time, and a lot of people don't give compassion to men in that way.
Polarising figure, intelligent man. First of all, I'm not a right-wing conservative, so I'm all for opposing views and arguments.
You specifically said that you're not a conservative right-winger.
Correct.
Do you feel like he is appealing to conservative right-wingers?
Probably close to 50% of his audience that listens to him is probably that demographic that is young, male, white, conservative, probably slightly racist, that watch him.
That's a joke.
That's a joke.
So you listen to someone, if you don't agree with 80% of what they say, that's fine, but there might be that 20% that resonates with you and you go, fuck, yes, he's so right about human connection and psychology, the way we think, the way we interact. It doesn't mean, we necessarily agree with some of his right-wing opinions, but that's everybody.
Do you reckon he's been misrepresented by the media?
100%. I can't put Jordan Peterson in the same realm as Dave Chappelle, but they can't cancel Dave Chappelle, they can't cancel Jordan Peterson. It's sick that people try to demonise people that are trying to help people.
There's this self-help side to Jordan Peterson, right? You know what you're saying about being strong, not being affected, being stoic and this kind of thing. But then there's also a very clear political side. He has kind of...
I don't get into that.
Okay, you're not so interested in his politics?
No, I don't see his books as political.
Maybe not his books, but he has very clear political opinions, right?
Yes,
for example,
I don't watch it.
Okay.
As I said, I read the book and it changed my perspective on a lot of things. Things that I was doing that I was like, damn, you're letting people walk over you.
Maybe as women we're a little bit more placid and we sort of sit back sometimes. So that was nice to hear that, it's put yourself forward and don't be afraid and be that monster and then learn to control it.
I'm really interested in this, becoming a monster. I guess, what does this mean for you?
I guess not being afraid to have a voice and being different and putting yourself yourself out there for things and challenging yourself, I think sometimes. To me, I took it as, don't hold back and put yourself out there and take a chance. Yeah, and take a bet on yourself.
I also believe men should be providers. They're the protectors of the family. So these days, a lot of people, especially women, there's nothing wrong with being independent and stuff, but I think men always have the last decision because they're the protectors. The men are the ones that, protect and serve. So I think if women were the ones that were doing it, it wouldn't be as safe, I guess.
And do you feel like Jordan Peterson has allowed you to feel like you're able to protect and serve?
Yeah, I've always felt that way. I just don't project it. I just keep it to myself.
He says, clean your room, right? That kind of shit. There's plenty of value in generally speaking, all the 12 rules for life stuff. There's a lot of value in that people find. And I think that people can be drawn in by that into things that are a lot more below the surface than that.
And what's hiding below the surface? Okay, I'll be specific. How valid do you think the claims about Jordan Peterson being, for example, a men's rights activist are?
Oh, that's completely true. No. And I mean, he says that more or less.
And what do you find to be difficult about being a man today?
There's just a pressure, I think, to an extent on men to be the support, to be the safe, to be the stable. We're almost expected to be a certain way a lot of the time. In male groups, there's less of an understanding of, I suppose, the more feminine parts of masculinity. There's a very single-minded view, in some ways, I think, of what being a man is. And it's hard to kind of define your own way of being a man and paving your own path in some ways. So I think I'm lucky because I've been able to pave my own path and I'm able to embody more of the feminine by actually understanding what masculinity is.
I guess people are very divided on how they feel about Jordan Peterson, right? Like there are people who think that he's saying things that are helpful.
So can I just say...
Hold on.
Hold on, wait. No.
He stands up for the masculine, which generally, in my lifetime, particularly last 30 years, has been downplayed and disrespected. And I'm just looking at the Mummery clouds up there, and they're gorgeous.
Wow. Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's about to rain.
Good day. Take care.
Oh, sorry. Alex.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jordan Peterson?
Oh no. Security asked us to move on, but I wanted to answer this man's question. My opinion has changed. Many of Dr. Peterson's critics have completely failed to appreciate how much he has changed people's lives. People are drawn to Dr. Peterson because he is an intelligent, composed, and compelling father figure who advocates for personal responsibility. However, Dr. Peterson has also failed his fans. He has made it supremely difficult to separate his self-help from his political ideology. In November of 2022, the College of Psychologists, the governing body where Dr. Peterson is admitted in Canada, threatened to revoke his clinical license. They said that Dr. Peterson's comments undermine the public trust in the profession as a whole and raise questions about his ability to carry out his responsibilities as a psychologist.